Welcome to the Good News Pod. My name's Tom Smith. I'm the manager of organizational learning and development here at Goodwill Southeast Georgia. I'm pleased to be joined with Lynnetta Smith from Combat Boots to the Boardroom. Lynnetta, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you and Combat Boots to the Boardroom?
Absolutely. First of all, let me say I'm so excited to be here today. Look at this great background, guys, to let you know where we are at. My name is Lynnetta Smith. I am the co-founder of Combat Boots to the Boardroom, which is a veteran nonprofit organization that helps veterans, military spouses, as well as youth transition when they become actually out of active duty, maybe like within the first 180 days, but the youth is a great component that I believe that we're going to touch into because most people don't think about them transitioning out, only maybe usually the parent side of it. So I'm excited to talk to you today about some things that we have going on, some collaborative efforts, and some future efforts as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we recently got the privilege of helping facilitate and host part of your Prosper program for veterans entering the workforce. How was that, and how did that experience go for you?
When I tell you, you never know when you add a new industry partner, how it's going to translate to the veteran. You will know as the facilitator as well as the leadership team what you envision. When I tell you the Goodwill team knocked it out of the park, it was probably so far one of our most received sessions from top to bottom. It blew my mind away how the veterans received the information, but how hands-on that they were in this session, but how engaged they were. But I believe that was attributed to your team and the teaching styles, and they met our veterans where they were at, and they were relatable because your team too were a part veteran team as well. So that was very great, and I think they understood because they had once themselves transitioned out of the civilian sector and knew exactly how to really hit the spot with them on the different training with soft skills, as well as professional clothing, entrepreneurship boot camp that they needed. They received that, the training material that you all provided. And we cannot forget the retail part of this when we challenged them to go downstairs in the retail facility to have $20 to be able to put together a professional development outfit that they can use if they were going to job interview, if they were going to be able to talk to a potential client, if they had a actual business, and understand that it didn't take $1 million to be able to show up in professional. And I think that is attributed to all the great things that Goodwill is doing when people donate their professional items. And I don't think that I say this a lot of times in the community, and I oftentimes want to highlight when you donate your items to Goodwill, what that actually does and how that translates to the community, because sometimes it can get a negative connotation. But to see those veterans light on fire for the excitement for a $20 voucher that we received from Goodwill based off a donation drive that our youth council did within Combat Boots to the Boardroom for a month-long session, we were able to raise those resources to be able to give back in more ways than we even thought that they would have done. And then the veterans were able to receive that voucher, go downstairs, and have a professional outfit. But they surprised us because some of them came out with multiple things instead of just one outfit, and it changed their perspective also on financial literacy.
We always say that education is the big transformer for economic mobility and for sustainability in anybody's journey. One of those big caveats is really tied to digital literacy. Can you speak to how digital literacy really impacts those veterans and how it really connects with Combat Boots to the Boardroom and those different initiatives that you guys are driving?
Absolutely. I'll lean into a little bit within my career field as a prior federal employee, nearly 20 years myself as a comptroller. I worked in budget for many years where I worked in many organizations. And I think one of the misconceptions is every soldier, airman, or military service member absolutely has digital literacy knowledge. And that is not true, because a lot of their MOSs, their actual jobs, they don't require them to be able to touch a computer during the day. And so I worked in a field artillery unit to do budget there on Fort Stewart, as well as I've worked in a actual criminal investigation unit. So like an MP type unit, CID type unit. Some of them, they don't touch computers at all. And so when they transition out, some may have them, some may not. And if they do have them, that doesn't necessarily know that they know how to navigate within the skill sets that they need to transition to the workforce based outside of maybe limited or maybe some social media stuff. And so that was another way that we thought, working in a collaborative effort, Goodwill, Combat Boots to the Boardroom, as we begin this relationship, to start to educate our community what we are working on together, and hopefully the future we can continue to grow this partnership, so that way we can help many more veterans understand and to be able to empower them with digital literacy, but also with the technology coupled with it. Then they can also be a force of nature as they transition, because now they have the tools that is necessary to be able to be empowered to go into the workforce together. And with Goodwill being the lead, writing that amazing grant, and being able to have us being able to utilize those resources coupled with Confidant AT&T, it was a game changer. And for us to be able to partner that again in August through October at our Prosper 2.0, which is our military spouse cohort, coming up together to also make sure that we do not leave our military spouses out, so that way they also can continue to be empowered with digital literacy as well. I think it just was a game changer, and we thank y'all for being forward thinking and solution minded.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Good News Pod.
I love it.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
I look forward to all of our future partnerships.
So do I, y'all. Listen, you know where we're at. Live in blue here at Goodwill Southeast Georgia, Combat Boots to the Boardroom. Lynnetta Smith, thank you so much for having me on this amazing platform, and I'm so excited for this partnership and all that it has in store moving forward. Thank you.